today by Craig and Claire from Visibility Scotland. Hi guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Morning, Liz.
So first of all, Craig, could you just tell us a wee bit about Visibility in general and what your role is?
Of course, yeah, and I do appreciate the opportunity to speak with yourself and also your listeners. Just perhaps people haven't heard of Visibility Scotland before. So we offer a broad range of services to anybody living with a visual impairment. Our head office is in Glasgow in Queen's Crescent, and from there we'll have sort of peer support groups, things like guitar and singing classes. We've got a resource room where there's lots of the latest sort of gadgets and aids and equipment that people can get hands-on with and try out. There's members of staff who are very tech savvy and can give a bit of advice on tablets and phones. We have two workers, Laura and David, who are neuro sight specialists. So that's helping people with stroke-related sight loss, which is quite a sort of niche area. And we're just about to have, my colleague Natasha is sort of leading the way on a new benefits take-up project. So that's starting soon. So in addition to that, there's lots of community work taking place outside of Glasgow, and that's what my role is down in Dumfries and Galloway. And I'll maybe come back and tell you a wee bit about that in a second. And Claire can let you know all about our children and families team and the wonderful work that they do.
Yeah, Claire, I understand you're with the children and families team. Can you just give us a bit about that?
Yeah, so we are the Children Families team. We work with children from 0 up to 21, and we offer kind of lots of different things within the service. We offer emotional support at the point of diagnosis, when it maybe times, in fact, we're there whenever our young people or our parents want us. We can give kind of information, signpost to other organisations, and we also run lots of age-specific groups and activities. We've got our toddlers groups, we've got sessions for our 5 to 12-year-olds, and we've got our teenage or young persons group, and we just do lots of different activities, which are very much dictated by the families. We have family days as well for the whole family to come along, or neighbours, or anybody that wants to, really. And in addition to all them services, we've got a habilitation service as well. So if anybody feels that they need input around daily living skills or mobility, then you can pick up the referrals, obviously depending where you stay. And yeah, that's just about us.
So how, Claire, how have you been coping with lockdown? How has that changed your service? Have you been able to do any of these things during lockdown?
No, as well as and we were so excited because we had a lovely family day planned in April with lots of baby lambs and chicks, but we had to cancel it. So we are really, really missing our young people and our parents, of course. But what we've done now is all virtual, which in a lot of ways is lovely, because where we did see them every second month or every once in a while, we're now contacting, or they're contacting us, but every day or every other day. We'd set up WhatsApp groups for our young people and our parents. We're doing Zoom sessions with our young people. We've increased our presence in social media. So although we're not physically seeing our families, we are in constant touch with them, which is lovely. And we're getting through it together.
Yeah.
Which is
oh, that's nice. Craig, I was just wanting to ask you the same question. How have you been able to deliver your services during lockdown? Have you been able to do anything? How have things changed? How are you dealing with that?
Well, as a community worker, 99% of what I'd done was face-to-face, and it wasn't based out of our head office in Glasgow. It was sort of peer support groups in 7 different towns across Dumfries and Galloway. We also had tech hubs, which were sort of movable feasts. Sorry, I've got a cat climbing across me. Where we would take all our aids and equipment. We would take some sort of volunteers who themselves have sight loss and bring all their experience and knowledge with us. And they were just starting to really gain a bit of traction in about 20 different towns across Dumfries and Galloway. So I was kind of in a different town or a different village every day, and just to try and illustrate that, in the last 3 years, my work car's racked up 75,000 miles.
Wow.
And in the last 3 months, it's racked up 75 miles, and that's just tootling back and forth to the shops. So I think the the method in which we were delivering services certainly had to change overnight, like most organisations and people across the country will have experienced. As Claire was saying, we sort of embraced technology perhaps a wee bit more, so kind of followed the lead of our children and families team. We'll have a weekly Zoom meeting where people come along. Sometimes we'll have a speaker, maybe sort of quite similar to the traditional peer support model. Sometimes we'll just have a wee natter, or pub quizzes have become very popular sort of ways of filling the time. So there's a weekly Zoom meeting. There's a wee WhatsApp group chat as well, where people are offering advice and support to each other. But like I say, I was predominantly out face to face, and in the last week alone, I've been on FaceTime, I've been on Zoom, I've been on WhatsApp, I've been on phone calls. So certainly the way that we were delivering services changed. But at Visibility Scotland, our sort of motto or mantra is listening and responding to people. So that's not changed. We're just having to do things a wee bit differently, and just try to keep people motivated and excited that when some kind of normality resumes and we can get back to our sort of normal services, that people will be chomping at the bit to join us.
Yeah. And so do you know what kind of things you're going to do when we get back to normality? Have you got any plans for that, or are you just going to see how it goes?
We have, so as an organisation, we have drafted a kind of a roadmap too, where each service within our organisation has spoke as a team and kind of realised what could be possible. Obviously, always putting safety first. With visual impairment, there's so many other barriers because of that, but I think we're a very dynamic organisation, and I know that we do have the skills and abilities within our teams to kind of rise to the challenge. So we have been thinking, how can we, the Children Families Service, maybe deliver home visits? Could that be in gardens? We obviously do PPE and things like that as well. We're thinking, can we have, activities in outdoor spaces? So I think nothing's set in stone just now, but even government advice is changing. So we're ready, and when we do get guidance, we will absolutely kind of rise to the challenge and do what's best for our service users.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so is there anything people can do to help out at the moment? If anyone wanted to volunteer or anything like that, are you still looking at that?
We're always keen to hear from people, and I think our volunteers that we have play an incredible role in so many different ways. We use volunteers in lots and lots of different ways. Just now we had a volunteer who wanted to sign up and work with our youth group, who's ended up being our tech guru. So he's like, but that has been incredible for us, because we're not I'm certainly not very tech savvy, so he's been wonderful, but maybe not what he signed up for, but he's still going with it. Also just spreading the word about us as well, letting people know that we are here, and although we're saying we've got these Zoom chats and meetings and all that, we're absolutely still able to offer that one-to-one support when needed as well, because we know not everybody's tech savvy, not everybody wants to share. Visual impairment can be so sensitive, and it can really stir up lots and lots of emotion. We know that, and we're able to offer that one-to-one support through a good old-fashioned phone as well. So yeah, we're here, and we're here in lots of different ways, and we will try and tailor our services to meet individual needs. So spread the word. I think Craig's probably got other stuff to add as well.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And just in terms of sort of tailoring that service or response to people, initially when the sort of COVID lockdown happened, we were making a lot of outgoing phone calls, and of course our information line always has and continues to be sort of manned Monday to Friday office hours, and we can give details of that at the end of the call. But in sort of response to how the landscape changed, I think we have spoken with more than 900 people over the telephone. Very close to 2,000 calls have been made, a lot of them again outgoing. So again, the small team of staff that we still have really embraced it. And as the weeks sort of progressed, the nature of the inquiries, we were getting a lot of people who were concerned about maybe changes to their site or how to manage their condition. And in response to that, we had a wee chat with some colleagues at Optometry Scotland, two ladies, Nikki and Brenda, And once a week, we now offer it's a Scotland-wide service, and it's called Ask the Expert or Ask the Optom. And people come on and have a wee chat, and they can get to speak with, you know, a qualified medical professional there. As much training and experience as Claire and I have, you know, we're always very quick to say we're not medically trained. So that's a new service that's been sort of born out of that. And again, Claire talked about the flexibility. We're offering the chance to do that over Zoom, over a group conference call, over one-to-one, over text messaging, however people feel most comfortable about accessing that. So that's one wee thing that's come out of it.
Yeah, well, that sounds great. So how could people get in touch if they were interested in any of your services, or they were interested in volunteering or anything? How could they get in touch with you guys?
I've got our telephone number written down here just in case I couldn't rattle it off. Our info line, and like I say, that's open Monday to Friday, 9 till 4:30 p.m. That's 0141 332 4632.
Okay.
You can drop us an email on info@visibilityscotland.org.uk. And of course, Claire and I are both very active on Twitter and Facebook, and we do have sort of separate feeds and pages for children and families, the work that we do. But if you were to search for Visibility Scotland on Twitter or Facebook, you would find both those accounts very easily. So yeah, absolutely, people can get in touch if they're interested in anything that Claire or I have had to say.
Yeah, and how would, Claire, if someone wanted to get in touch with the Children and Families team, is there a separate email address, or would it all just go through the same place?
Everything goes through the info link, but would just be passed.
So it'll come to you. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. Well, thank you very much for joining me today, guys. Some great information about visibility there. Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Cheers, bye.